Only 1% are entering this phase, and you are already inside it. Stop for a moment. Do not scroll. Do not click away. Because what you are about to hear was not made for everyone. It was not made for the masses. It was not even made for most of the people who will stumble across it today. This was made for you. And I do not say that lightly. I say it because something brought you here at this exact moment. Something you cannot fully explain. A pull, a whisper in the back of your mind that said, keep watching. And that pull is not random. It never is. You have been feeling it, have you not? That strange sensation that something is different now. That you are different now. You cannot point to the exact moment it started. There was no announcement, no clear beginning. But somewhere along the way you woke up and the world looked the same. But you did not feel the same inside it. Colors seem different. Conversations feel hollow. The things that used to excite you barely move you anymore. And you have been walking around wondering what is wrong with you. Wondering why you feel so disconnected from people you have known for years. Wondering why you feel homesick for a place you have never even been. Most chosen ones will never hear this. Not because it is hidden, but because they scroll past it too soon. They feel the pull. They sense that something is calling them. And then they let distraction win. They click away. They tell themselves they will come back later, but later never comes. And they miss the one message that was placed directly in their path. I need you to understand that you are not most people. You are still here. You are still reading these words, and that is not a small thing. That is everything. Let me tell you what you will receive if you stay until the very end of this video. You will finally have language for what you have been experiencing. You will understand why your life has felt like it is falling apart when it is actually falling into alignment. You will learn why certain people had to leave, why certain doors had to close, why you have been carrying a weight that nobody around you seems to notice or understand. And more than that, you will receive confirmation. The kind of confirmation that settles something deep in your chest. The kind that makes you exhale and whisper, finally, someone sees me. But before I tell you exactly what phase you have entered, stay with me, because what comes next will completely change how you see what you have been going through. Something shifted in you recently, and you did not ask for it. You did not sign up for it. You did not wake up one morning and decide that you wanted your entire inner world to rearrange itself. It simply happened. One day, you were fine, or at least you thought you were fine. And then slowly, quietly, without warning, everything began to feel different. Your thoughts changed. Your tolerance changed. The things you used to accept without question suddenly became unbearable. The relationships you used to pour yourself into started to feel draining. And you pulled back, not because you stopped caring, but because something inside you started demanding more. More truth, more depth, more meaning, more alignment between who you are and how you have been living. This is not a breakdown. I need you to hear that. This is not you losing your mind. This is not depression disguised as growth. This is the first sign of transition. The first signal that you have entered a phase most people will never even come close to. You have been chosen for something, and the preparation has already begun. You feel like you are falling apart, because you are. The old version of you is dissolving. The old patterns are breaking. The old beliefs are crumbling. And it is terrifying because you do not yet see what is being built in its place. But I see it. I see exactly what is happening to you. And I promise you, by the time this video ends, you will see it too. This is not confusion. This is not chaos. This is construction. And you are right in the middle of it. You found this video because you were meant to find it. Not by accident, not by algorithm, but because there is something you need to know. Something that will change the way you see everything you have been carrying, everything you have been questioning, everything you have been silently surviving. So stay with me. Do not scroll away. What comes next is going to feel like it was written specifically for you. Because in many ways, it was. Type 1. Feel it in the comments if something inside you already knows this is true. Now that you understand something has shifted inside you, there is another piece of this that we need to talk about. Something you have probably not spoken out loud to anyone. Something you have carried in silence because you did not know how to explain it without sounding ungrateful or dramatic. You feel alone. Deeply, achingly alone. And not the kind of alone that comes from being by yourself. The kind that follows you into crowded rooms. The kind that sits with you at family dinners. The kind that whispers in your ear even when you are surrounded by people who claim to love you. You have watched friendships fade, not with loud arguments or dramatic endings, but with slow silence, unreturned messages, plans that stop being made. People you once shared everything with now feel like strangers wearing familiar faces. And the hardest part is you cannot even explain why. You did not do anything wrong. You did not push them away on purpose. But somehow the distance grew, and now you stand in the middle of your own life, feeling like a ghost that everyone can see. But no one truly notices. Do not move past this part, because this is where most chosen ones miss what was meant for them. Your family does not understand you anymore. Maybe they never fully did, but lately it feels sharper. Their advice does not land. Their expectations feel like weight. You smile and nod and play the role they need you to play. But inside you are screaming. Inside you are wondering why no one asks how you are really doing. Why no one notices the exhaustion behind your eyes. You have become invisible to the people who are supposed to know you best. And that invisibility is a kind of loneliness that cuts deeper than any rejection ever could. Here is something most people will never tell you. This isolation is not punishment. It is not rejection. You are not being abandoned. You are being repositioned. The connections falling away were never meant to go where you are going. They belong to the old version of you, the version that is currently dissolving to make room for who you are becoming. And I know that does not make it hurt less right now. But I need you to understand that this solitude has purpose. It is not emptiness. It is a cocoon. And what is being formed inside it will not be recognized by those who only knew the caterpillar. The right souls will find you. They are already on their way. But they cannot arrive until you have completed this phase. Until you have become the person they are meant to meet. So, hold on. Stay in the cocoon even when it feels like suffocation. What emerges on the other side will be worth every silent night you endured. Type Amen in the comments if you have felt this loneliness and you are ready to understand why it had to happen. And what I am about to share next is something almost no one talks about. The silent battles you have been fighting when no one is watching. The wars you win every single E-day that have no witnesses. This next part will change everything about how you see your own strength. You have been fighting a war that no one sees. While others sleep peacefully, you lie awake with thoughts that refuse to quiet. While others complain about small inconveniences, you are battling things that would break most people in half. And the hardest part is not the battle itself. The hardest part is that you have to fight it alone, in silence, with a smile on your face so no one worries, with steady hands so no one suspects. You have become a master of hiding your bleeding while you bandage everyone else. You help people. That is who you are. When someone needs advice, they call you. When someone needs strength, they lean on you. When someone needs saving, you show up. But who shows up for you? Who notices when your voice gets a little quieter? Who sees when your eyes lose their light for a moment before you pull yourself together again? You have been drowning in plain sight, and somehow still reaching out your hand to pull others to shore. And no one has stopped to ask if maybe, just maybe, you need someone to pull you up too. Stay with me here. Do not let this part pass you by, because what I am about to say is something you have needed to hear for a very long time. The weight you carry has no measurement. There is no scale for the kind of heaviness you hold. Financial pressure that keeps you up at night doing math in your head over and over again. Emotional exhaustion from giving pieces of yourself to people who never give anything back. Mental battles that rage behind your eyes while you sit in meetings, attend gatherings, and pretend everything is fine. You have been carrying the weight of 10 people and still showing up every single day, and no one has ever handed you a trophy for it. No one has acknowledged the sheer will it takes for you to simply keep going. Here is the truth no one says out loud. You were never weak for struggling. You were never failing for feeling tired. The fact that you are still here, still standing, still breathing after everything you have been through, makes you one of the strongest souls walking this earth right now. Unseen battles do not create broken people. They create unshakable warriors. And that is exactly what is being forged inside you with every silent fight you win. Everything you survive in the dark is building something that will one day shine so bright it will be undeniable. Your testimony is being written right now. Not on paper, not in words, but in your endurance, in your refusal to quit, in your stubborn insistence on getting back up every single time life knocks you down. The chapters that hurt the most will one day be the ones that help someone else survive their own silent war. Type 1111 in the comments if you have been fighting battles that nobody knows about. Let that number be your marker, your acknowledgement, your proof that someone finally sees what you have been carrying. And what comes next is something that might sting before it heals. We need to talk about the people who betrayed you, the ones who hurt you when you trusted them most. Because those wounds are not what you think they are. And once you understand the truth about what really happened, you will never see those betrayals the same way again. There is a wound you still carry, one that did not come from a stranger. It came from someone you trusted. Someone you let past your walls. Someone who knew exactly where you were soft, exactly where you were vulnerable, and used that knowledge against you. That betrayal did not just hurt, it changed something inside you. It made you question your own judgment. It made you wonder if you would ever be able to trust again. And even now, even after time has passed, there are moments when that memory rises up and the sting feels fresh all over again. You gave them your loyalty. You gave them the version of you that most people never get to see. The real one. The unguarded one. The one who believed the best in them even when others warned you. And what did they do with that gift? They dropped it. They broke it. They walked away like it meant nothing. Or worse, they stayed close while secretly working against you, smiling to your face while sharpening the knife behind your back. And when the truth finally came out, you were not just hurt. You were shattered. Because it was not the betrayal that broke you. It was the fact that you never saw it coming from them. Do not scroll past this, because what I am about to tell you will reframe everything you thought you knew about what happened. They did not betray you. They revealed themselves. There is a difference. Betrayal suggests they changed. But the truth is, they were always who they showed themselves to be at the end. You just could not see it until that moment. Their action did not change who they were. It exposed who they were. And as painful as that exposure felt, it was also a gift. A brutal, unwanted, necessary gift. Because you would have kept giving to them. You would have kept trusting them. You would have kept building a future that included someone who was never meant to be in it. Here is a truth that will set something free inside you if you let it. Every closed door was protection from a room you did not belong in. That relationship, that friendship, that partnership, that opportunity that fell apart at the last second. It was not taken from you. It was removed for you. Because where you are going requires a different kind of energy around you. It requires loyalty that matches yours, commitment that mirrors yours. And the people who betrayed you were never capable of that. They had to exit so the right ones could eventually enter. Loyalty is coming. The kind you have been giving your whole life, but rarely receiving. The kind that does not keep score. The kind that stays when things get hard. But those people cannot find you while you are surrounded by those who drain you, deceive you, and diminish you. The disloyal had to go first. And even though their exit was painful, it was also preparation. Type 777 in the comments if someone's betrayal secretly saved you from a situation you should have never been in. Let that number be your declaration that you are no longer bitter. You are no longer broken by it. You see it clearly now. And what comes next might be the most emotional part of this entire video. We need to talk about something you have been avoiding. Something that still hurts when you are alone with your thoughts late at night. We need to talk about why your old life had to die. And why grieving it is not weakness. It is the doorway to everything that is coming. There is a grief you carry that no one talks about. Not the grief of losing someone else, but the grief of losing who you used to be. You mourn a version of yourself that no longer exists. You miss the days when things felt simpler, when you laughed easier, when you believed in things without questioning them so deeply. And sometimes, late at night, you find yourself looking back at old photos, old memories, old dreams, and you wonder where that person went. You wonder if you will ever feel that light again. That innocence. That version of you who had not yet been touched by everything that came after. You had dreams that did not happen. Plans that crumbled. A future you once saw so clearly that now feels like it belonged to someone else entirely. And no one prepared you for how much that would hurt. No one told you that you would grieve a life you need, ver even got to live, that you would mourn possibilities that died before they ever had a chance to breathe. You feel like a stranger in your own story now, like you are reading chapters that do not match the outline you once wrote for yourself. Do not move past this moment, because this is where the healing begins if you let it. Here is something you need to understand. You are not losing yourself. You never were. You are finally meeting yourself. The real one. The one that existed beneath all the masks, beneath all the expectations, beneath all the versions you created to survive. That old life had to die because it was built for someone you were pretending to be. And you cannot carry pretense into the place you are going. Here is the truth no one says out loud. The old version of you was never meant to last forever. They were never meant to reach the finish line with you. Their role was to carry you to this point, to absorb the blows, to learn the lessons, to build the foundation. And they did their job beautifully. But now their mission is complete. And the most loving thing you can do is let them rest. Honor them. Thank them for everything they survived. And then gently, bravely, let them go. What is coming next requires someone you have not fully become yet. That is why the old you could not stay. They did not have the capacity for what is ahead. They did not have the wisdom, the strength, the clarity that this next chapter demands. But you do. Or rather, you will. Because that person is being built inside you right now. Every tear you have cried has watered something. Every loss has cleared space. Every ending has been making room for a beginning your old self could not have handled. The grief you feel is not a sign that something is wrong. It is proof that something is growing. You loved who you were, and that love is beautiful. But I promise you, when you ally, meet who you are becoming, you will love them even more. They will carry everything good from your past, and none of the weight that held you back. Type amen in the comments if you have been grieving your old life, and you are ready to release it with honor. And what I am about to share next is something that only 1% of people will ever understand. This is the section where everything comes together. This is where you learn exactly what phase you have entered and why so few ever make it here. Stay with me, because this next part was written for you and you alone. This is the part you have been waiting for. The part that explains everything. The part that finally puts a name to what you have been experiencing. Because you are not just going through a hard time. You are not just having a rough season. You have entered a phase that most people will never even come close to. And the reason you found this video, the reason you are still watching right now, is because something inside you already knows this is true. But here is what makes it confusing. It does not feel special. It does not feel like you have been selected for something rare. It feels heavy. It feels exhausting. It feels like you are carrying a weight that gets heavier with every passing day, while everyone around you seems to float through life untouched. You look at others and wonder why things seem easier for them, why they can laugh without effort, why they can sleep without racing thoughts, why they do not seem to carry the same invisible burden that presses down on your chest every single morning. Stay with me right now. Do not let your mind wander, because this is the moment where everything shifts. The 1% is not about comfort. It is not about being blessed with an easy life or a pain-free existence. The 1% is about capacity. It is about being able to hold more, feel more, endure more, see more. And that is exactly why this phase feels so overwhelming. You are not weak for struggling. You are strong enough to be trusted with this level of pressure. Most people run the moment things get uncomfortable. They distract themselves. They numb themselves. They abandon the process before it can complete its work. But not you. You walked straight into it. You stayed when everything inside you screamed to leave. And that is what separates you from 99% of the world. Here is the truth no one says out loud. You were not chosen because you are perfect. You were chosen because you are willing. Willing to feel the pain instead of running from it. Willing to ask the hard questions instead of accepting easy answers. Willing to sit in the discomfort of growth even when no one around you understands what you are going through. That willingness is rarer than you know, and it is the exact quality required to complete this phase. This phase has a name. It is called the becoming. It is the space between who you were and who you are meant to be. Few people ever enter it because it requires the death of comfort, the death of certainty, the death of the old self. And even fewer complete it because the temptation to turn back is constant. But you will be one of the ones who makes it through. I am certain of that. Because you are still here, still watching, still searching for understanding, instead of giving up. On the other side of this is a version of you that your current self cannot even imagine. Someone stronger, someone clearer, someone who moves through the world with a quiet power that needs no announcement. That person is being built inside you right now. Every hard day is a brick. Every tear is mortar. And when the construction is complete, you will look back at this season and finally understand why it had to happen exactly the way it did. Type "chosen" in the comments if you feel that you have entered this phase. Let that word mark this moment. Let it be your stake in the ground. And what comes next is something you need to see with your own eyes. The signs, the evidence, the undeniable proof that what I am telling you is not just words but reality. I am about to show you exactly how to know that your transformation is already happening. And some of these signs will shock you. You have been wondering if any of this is real. If something is actually changing inside you, or if you are just telling yourself a story to feel better about how hard things have been, that doubt is normal. Because transformation does not announce itself with fireworks and fanfare. It happens quietly, slowly, in the spaces between moments. And most people miss the evidence because they are looking for something dramatic when the proof has been whispering all along. So let me show you. Let me point out what has been happening right in front of you this entire time. Your sleep has changed. You wake up at strange hours. 3 in the morning. 4 in the morning. Wide awake with thoughts that feel too big for the night. Or maybe you sleep deeper than ever before. Exhausted in a way that rest does not fully touch. Your body is processing something massive, and sleep is where the rewiring happens. Your tolerance for nonsense has collapsed. Conversations that used to entertain you now drain you. Drama that once pulled you in now repels you instantly. You do not have the patience for small talk, for gossip, For people who only want to complain without ever changing. Something inside you has raised its standards and it refuses to lower them again. Do not skip over this part. Read each sign carefully, because the more you recognize, the more real this becomes. You crave solitude in a way you never did before, not because you hate people, but because you need space to hear your own thoughts, to feel your own feelings without the noise of everyone else, his opinions and energy. Being alone does not scare you anymore. It calls to you. Your taste in everything is shifting. Music sounds different. Food hits different. The things you used to enjoy no longer satisfy you. You are outgrowing old pleasures, and you have not yet discovered the new ones that will replace them. This in-between place feels empty, but it is actually an open door. Here is a truth most people miss. Transformation is invisible before it is undeniable. Seeds do not announce they're growing. They do not send updates from beneath the soil. One day, the ground just breaks open and something new stands, where nothing seemed to exist. That is what is happening inside you right now. You feel homesick for a place you have never been. A deep longing for something you cannot name. A pull toward a future you cannot see but somehow know is real. This longing is not sadness. It is your new self calling your current self forward. You have lost interest in proving yourself. The need to explain, defend, or convince has faded. You no longer chase approval from people who do not matter. Your energy has become too valuable to spend on those who cannot see your worth without a presentation. You notice patterns everywhere, repeating numbers, synchronicities, moments that feel too aligned to be random. Your awareness has expanded, and now you see connections you used to miss completely. You feel things more deeply than before. Movies hit harder. Songs pierce through you. Beauty stops you in your tracks. This is not weakness. This is your sensitivity increasing. Because you are becoming more attuned to the frequency of truth. Type 1111 in the comments for every single sign that matched your experience. Let that number be your confirmation that what is happening inside you is real. And what I am about to share next is something that will fill you with anticipation. Because now that you know the transformation is real, you need to know what is actually coming for you. The doors, the people, the opportunities. Stay with me, because your future is closer than you think. Now that you have seen the signs, now that you know the transformation is real, there is something else you need to understand. Something that will shift the weight you have been carrying into excitement for what is ahead. Because you have been waiting so long that sometimes you forget what you are even waiting for. You just know that something is supposed to happen. Something is supposed to change. And every day that passes without that change feels like another piece of evidence that maybe it is never coming. Maybe you were wrong. Maybe you hoped for too much. I need you to release that fear right now. Because what you have been waiting for has not forgotten you. It has been preparing for you. The delays were never denials. Every closed door, every rejected application, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers at the last moment was not punishment. It was protection. You were not ready for what you asked for. Not because you were flawed, but because you were still becoming the person who could handle it. The version of you from 2 years ago could not have carried what is coming. The version of you from even 6 months ago would have crumbled under the weight of the blessing. But now you are almost ready. Do not move past this section, because what I am about to tell you about your next 6 to 12 months will stay with you long after this video ends. Here is a truth that most people never grasp. Manifestation does not happen when you want it. It happens when you match it. When your internal frequency aligns with the external reality, you have been calling in. And everything you have been through, every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, has been tuning you, adjusting you, calibrating you for what is about to arrive. Doors are going to open that you did not even know existed. Opportunities will appear that seem to come from nowhere, but are actually the result of seeds you planted long ago and forgot about. People are going to enter your life who feel like home, who see you without explanation, who match the energy you have been protecting and preserving through all those lonely seasons. Resources that felt impossible will suddenly become available. Financial shifts, creative breakthroughs, solutions to problems you had given up on solving. In the next 6 to 12 months, you will experience acceleration. Things that used to take years will happen in months. Things that felt permanently stuck will begin to move with surprising speed. You will look back at this exact moment and realize that this was the turning point. This was when the setup phase ended and the manifestation phase began. Here is the truth no one says out loud. You were never behind. You were never missing your window. Your timing has always been perfect, even when it felt painfully slow. And now that timing is about to prove itself in ways that will leave you speechless. You are not hoping anymore. You are not wishing anymore. You are standing at the edge of everything you have been building toward in secret. And it is closer than your doubt has allowed you to believe. Type, "I am ready" in the comments to claim what is coming. Let those words be your agreement, your acceptance, your signal that you are no longer waiting in fear, but standing in expectation. And what comes next is the most important instruction I can give you. Because knowing what is coming is not enough. You need to know the one thing G required of you right now. The single task that will determine whether you receive everything that is waiting or watch it pass you by. Stay with me. This next part is everything. You know what is coming now. You have seen the signs. You understand the phase you are in. But there is still a question burning in the back of your mind. A question that keeps you up at night and follows you through every quiet moment. What am I supposed to do? What action do I need to take? What step am I missing that is keeping everything from falling into place? You feel the pressure constantly. The pressure to do more, to be more, to figure it all out before it is too late. And that pressure is exhausting you. So let me give you the answer you have been searching for. And it is going to surprise you because it is simpler than anything you expected. Your only task right now is to stay. That is it. Do not chase. Do not force. Do not try to manipulate outcomes or control timelines. Just stay. Stay present. Stay open. Stay committed to the process. Even when you cannot see the progress. The only thing required of you in this phase is to not quit. Do not scroll past this, because this is the instruction that will carry you through everything that is ahead. I know that feels too simple. I know your mind is screaming that you need to do something. That sitting still feels like falling behind. That waiting feels like losing. But here is what you do not understand yet. This phase does not require your performance. It requires your presence. It does not need you to hustle harder or strategize better or network more aggressively. It needs you to remain available for what is already making its way toward you. Here is a truth that changes everything once you really hear it. What is meant for you is already in motion. It started moving the moment you entered this phase. The people you need to meet are already on their path toward you. The opportunities you have been praying for are already being arranged. The resources you require are already being redirected. None of it needs your frantic energy to arrive. It just needs you to still be standing when it gets here. The temptation right now is to force doors open, to push relationships forward, to make things happen through sheer willpower. But forcing creates the wrong kind of results. It attracts what you chased instead of what was chosen for you. And there is a massive difference between the two. Chased things require constant effort to maintain. Chosen things flow once they arrive. Here is the truth no one says out loud. Stillness is not stagnation. Waiting is not weakness. Trusting the timing is not laziness. It is the highest form of strength because it requires you to surrender the illusion of control while still showing up every single day. That is harder than hustling. That is harder than grinding. That is the real work of this phase. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to remain available for when it does. To keep your heart open when fear tells you to close it. To keep believing when doubt screams that you are foolish. To keep standing when exhaustion begs you to sit down permanently. Type, "I am staying" in the comments as your commitment. Let those words anchor you. Let them be the promise you make to yourself right now that no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, you will not walk away from what is meant for you. And now we come to the final part, the closing words that I need you to carry with you long after this video ends. What I am about to say is not just encouragement. It is truth, and it will seal everything we have talked about into your heart forever. Stay with me for just a few more moments. You need to hear this. You made it. You stayed until the very end. And that alone tells me everything I need to know about who you are and what you are capable of. Think about what you just walked through in the last hour. You arrived here carrying confusion about why everything felt so different lately. You learned that the shift inside you was not a breakdown, but the beginning of something rare. You faced the loneliness that has been following you and discovered it was protection, not punishment. You acknowledged the silent battles you fight every single day without recognition or reward. You looked at the betrayals that wounded you and finally saw them for what they really were. Necessary exits, required removals. You grieved the old version of yourself and gave them permission to rest after carrying you so far. You learned the name of the phase you have entered, the becoming. And you realized that you are among the 1% who do not run from it. You saw the signs of your transformation reflected back to you like a mirror. You glimpsed what is coming in the months ahead, and you received the only instruction that matters right now. Stay. Do not quit. Remain available for what is already on its way. Before you go, stay with this one last message carefully. This may be the most important thing spoken in this entire video. Everything you just heard, you already knew it. Deep inside, buried beneath the doubt and the exhaustion and the fear. You knew it was all true. You just needed a voice to remind you to speak out loud what your soul has been whispering for months. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be. And you were always going to make it. This video did not find you by accident. You did not stumble across it randomly while scrolling. Something led you here, because there was something you needed to hear before you could take your next step. And now you have heard it. Now you carry it with you. The confusion has been replaced with clarity. The doubt has been replaced with direction. The fear has been replaced with a quiet knowing that your best days are not behind you. They are right in front of you, waiting. You will look back at this exact moment as the turning point. The night everything began to shift. The hour you stopped questioning your path and started trusting it. Type Amen one final time if this video spoke to something deep inside you. Type 1212 to claim the miracles that are coming. And if this message found you exactly when you needed it, tap that like button. Let it be your way of marking this moment. Subscribe if you want to walk this road together. Not because I am asking you to, but because something inside you knows there is more to hear, more to receive, more to become. You are seen. You are chosen. And your story is just beginning its greatest chapter. Now go forward, knowing exactly who you are.